Running a Fever, episode 104. Today I'm going to welcome a new country to my list of countries with listeners in them. Well, not quite 2 hours yet. I think I'm making pretty good time. Welcome, Mauritians. My name is Michael Davis. I've lost over 70 pounds, reduced my waist size by over 10 inches, lowered my blood pressure, built muscle, increased my energy, improved my diet, become an active person at an age of 52. I did it by loving my life enough to want to make it last as long as possible. If you want to do the same and come on along on this journey, we'll get there together. I'm sure you hear in the background the noise. There is some kind of activity going on here today, and I saw it when I came through at the beginning, and I don't know what it is. They got some music going, they got an announcer with a PA, all kinds of people. I do see some banners, and there's a truck from Lewis Automotive, racewizard.com. Howdy.
Morning.
Oh, I just realized I'm not going back around on the trail. I'm actually heading into the streets of Fayetteville here. It's a race. It's a race that they're having. I don't know. I should have known about this. I thought there was a 5K coming up at the end of the month, but I didn't think it was happening today. So I'm not sure if it's that one or a different one, but they're having a race that's starting right there in Veterans Park. I'm not going to be there today because I'm on a mission and I have to get back to my car. We're going to go at least 7 miles today, and I can't really tell how far I've gone so far. But it's been an hour and 56 minutes according to my watch, which leads me to believe that I've probably already walked about 6 miles. And I'm on this street, and I don't know, I kind of got lost in the way, so I'm really hoping I find my way back. It's the first time I've done this, but I went in on the Mud Creek trailhead because I'd been there before and seen a sign saying this way to Lake Fayetteville, and I thought it was just part of a trail that would have the same markings as the other trails I've been on in this area. Probably part of the Razorback Greenway. Purple for a Purpose, that is the race. So I can look for more information about that. I'm just having to cross the street. I would get a picture of the sign, but I had the light. I wanted to take that opportunity to get across the street. Kind of got a purpose today. Not that purpose, maybe, but I'm sure there's a charity of some kind associated with the Purple for a Purpose walk. My purpose is to get in this long walk and then get about my day, which I have set about 10 tasks to achieve. The final one being sitting down and watching the Red Sox against the Astros in the first game of the American League Championship Series. This is taking place about 100 years after the Red Sox won their 1918 World Series. So, those of you from Mauritius, and I know there are some of you listening because I have seen the downloads. This would not have happened with radio or television, possibly film, I suppose, but no other form of broadcast would I be able to reach a place like Mauritius. And the reason is that this country of a little over 1 million people is on an island in the Indian Ocean off the coast of Africa. And I am in the northwest part of a state called Arkansas in the United States of America in the continent of North America. That is what we've come to with podcasting, and I'm really glad, happy to be able to reach these people, and that somebody there is listening to this and hopefully getting some inspiration from it. You know, I think the Mauritians started listening to the show sometime in the last few months, since April or so. The vernacular is Creole, which is a mixture of English and French, and I think they probably understand English well enough, because I do not speak Creole, and I speak un peu français, très mal. So there you go. It's got to be the English or nothing at all. But yeah, really happy to have the Mauritians downloading the show and listening to it. It's really great. And if you go to Mauritius, you will find that they drive on the left. It's one of these places that were formerly dominated by the British Empire, and that's probably where they got that. The most popular sport is what they call football. It's probably similar to what we call soccer in the United States, and the rest of the world calls football. I've never seen a Mauritian football team, but that is the favorite sport. So hopefully, if you're there, you're out there getting some exercise, running around the soccer field with a fever. I'm gonna just go out on a limb and say there's probably a lot of walkers and runners there as well. Walking and running requires even less equipment investment than football does. So you don't even need a ball. All you need is your feet. It's good to have shoes, but even if you don't have shoes, you're probably going to be able to walk just a little bit, maybe even run. Also, popular sport there is what they call kite surfing, and what in the United States we call windsurfing, which is basically you get out on a surfboard, and the surfboard has a sail attached to it, and apparently that's lots of fun. I don't think I've ever tried it. It's one of those things I just don't see myself being good at, but you know what? I bet if I tried it and I really tried hard, I could actually do it and have a lot of fun. Maybe I'll do that someday. Maybe I'll do it in Mauritius someday. It's always possible. And it kind of makes sense because it's an island country, and so there's plenty of coastal waters available to go out and kite surf. Maybe even easier to do that than it is to play football, where you need an actual field and a good bit of space around you. So welcome, Mauritians, to Running a Fever Nation. And go check that out for yourself. Wikipedia is where most of that information came from. And you know, if you can, donate to Wikipedia. You know, that's they're one of the biggest, most used websites, and they are nonprofit. And wouldn't it be great if they could say, stay nonprofit? We've got amazing things happening on the internet. Things are cheap enough that we have a lot of things that are available without paying for them. And unfortunately, it does take some money to run all this stuff. I know, because I work in IT. My company has a lot of equipment, and they pay other companies for the bandwidth and such that keeps a business like that running. And of course, you also need people to edit and take care of all the content and programming that happens there. So those people have to do something. They have to feed themselves and shelter themselves and their families probably. So think about donating. I can't say that I've ever donated, but I do think it's a good idea if you're looking for a donation. Incidentally, you know, we were talking last night, it was kind of a celebratory or celebratory, if you're British, or Mauritian. I don't know how Mauritians pronounce that, but it was kind of a celebration last night, and so I went out and had what, might not be considered the most healthy meal. Homemade fried potatoes, fries, French fries, and a 3rd-pound cheeseburger. Had a jalapeno cheeseburger. And right now, we have lotteries going on. In this part of the country, we've got a state lottery, and we have one of those big lotteries that is maybe nationwide or in a bunch of states. And the state one is over $200 million, the jackpot. The big one, that wasn't big enough, is over $500 million. And it's probably gone up by now, because when it gets this high, people start buying more tickets. Even though your chances of winning are exactly the same, the jackpot's bigger. And that's the whole thing. The whole thing is about dreaming of having all that money. And so we're talking about that, what you would do with the money. And obviously philanthropy comes into play, thus the seg between donating to Wikipedia, one of the things you might want to donate to. I'm about to cross Joyce Boulevard. It's very busy. Early Saturday morning. And my hands are cold. Sun's coming up, even though I can't see it. The sun's come up, and it's behind lots of clouds, completely overcast, and the wind has picked up a little bit. Trying to find the trail again. So I'm gonna have to actually look at my faithful navigation app. It seems really weird to be walking around supposedly on a trail trying to figure out where I am. All right, there's the post office. Still on Vantage Drive. Mud Creek Trailhead.
Let's take East Joyce Boulevard, Old Missouri Road, Fayetteville.
Fargo, Old Missouri Road. All right, so interesting. Well, I'll know this better next time if I do this next time or some other time. But I actually do have to travel down Joyce Boulevard, which is crazy. This is a walking trail. I mean, there's a sidewalk, but So I just realized that I'm not headed to the trail at all, but to the trailhead via the route that my navigation app understandably took me along, which is the streets. It knows how to get to the trailhead. It's used to navigating people in cars. Really not what I wanted, but so what I got. I just passed by post office, Fayetteville post office, one of them. And I suppose it's some kind of, this must be Breast Cancer Awareness Month or something. They have pink ribbons painted all over the post office, signs about breast cancer, which I'm all about. I mean, I think you should really help out if you can. Be another philanthropic idea. It's actually topical. Find a way to help people with breast cancer, but do not donate to the Susan Komen Foundation. The most famous breast cancer foundation has unfortunately chosen not to concentrate on breast cancer, but to also fund abortions. It's really sad because they're missing out on millions of dollars which could be used to help fight breast cancer, but will not be because people will not donate their money knowing that it's going to go to provide abortions. So I'll see if I can come up with some alternatives and post them in the show notes for you. Do not donate to the Susan Komen Foundation. For the first time in my life, when we were talking about this lottery thing, I found myself actually agreeing that you can have too much money. And it's just really because there's been such a change in my life. Because before, I would have always thought, why not more money? Because it gives me more power to do good things in the world, you know? And I trust my own judgment better than I trust the judgment of just about anybody else with what to do with money. There are a couple of exceptions, but I think they feel the same way that I do. It'd be interesting to ask, and I may ask the next time. I see some of those people, but they may believe that there is actually too much money you can have. Now, I think Warren Buffett has been perhaps the greatest accumulator of wealth in one man that has ever existed, you know. Certainly in my lifetime, possibly in the last couple centuries, maybe John D. Rockefeller, you could say. Who knows what those dollars convert to, maybe more. But Warren Buffett is giving most of his fortune away to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. I also don't recommend, because they have similar interests as the Komen Foundation, that you do not want to be involved in or a part of. Nonetheless, Warren Buffett recognizes that his gift is accumulating money, not distributing it. And he doesn't want to spend his life, which makes sense. Why would you spend your life doing something that you're not as good at when you could contribute more in another way? And I realized that, there are a lot of things that I'd want to do, and I can use millions of dollars, but not hundreds of millions of dollars. You know, the things that I want to work on are just not that big, and probably would suffer if I donated that much money to them. Other ways to go about it. You can create an endowment that, doles out an income to certain charities. But again, you're getting in the business of distributing money and being a philanthropist, and if that's not what you want to spend your time doing, then that's not what you want to do. So, important turning point in my life, in figuring out that there could actually be too much money, and that I need to find a place that would not just be a single charity that I'm interested in, but if I really expect to have $100 million, I don't really. I'm not actually playing the lottery, but I would want to find a good recipient that would be a good distributor, a moral distributor, and a effective and efficient distributor of that wealth. Something to think about. I may be the only person. Actually, I know I'm not the only person. So, there you go. A new place, Mauritius. Thank you, Mauritians, and thank you, Running a Fever listeners. If you got the fever, keep it. If you don't have it, get it. I'll talk to you next time on Running a Fever. This is the Padua Podcast Network. PaduaMedia.com.